So take a look at clavicular. Oh. Cool. You see the popcorn line there. Okay, boys, let's take a look. Okay, we'll get into this video, and we will decide: is he based, or is he gay maxing, or trans maxing, or both? We don't know. We're gonna have to decide that together, aren't we? I'm gonna make myself a little bigger, just because. All right, sick. Looks like we are maxing. Okay, boys, you ready? This is Looks Maxxing promoter Clavicular tells his life story, full interview. And it is Clavicular. It's his name. And off rip, looks like a handsome guy. I'm just saying. I mean, this is the facts. He looks like a handsome guy. He's got high cheekbones, forehead, nice chin, good jawline. You know, looks lean. But he's on PEDs, so he's gay maxing. Pussy maxing. Let's hear what he has to say.
Who views physical enhancement as a video game cheat code and believes it's ridiculous to play the game fair. You have access to enhancements. Clavicular, welcome to Vlad TV.
Thank you for having me.
Well, first time here, let's start at the very beginning. So you grew up in Hoboken, New Jersey.
Correct.
Now, your mother was a serious weightlifter.
Yeah, back in the day.
Okay, so in what way? Was she a bodybuilder or?
Yeah, so she did some like the, different leagues, like the wellness division. I forget the exact divisions women compete in. But yeah, it was bodybuilding style stuff.
All right, so off rip, his mother is involved in bodybuilding. Women in bodybuilding typically take performance-enhancing drugs as well, professionally. So if he came from a family where performance-enhancing drugs were accepted, perhaps used, you could imagine why he is using them now. It feels as if they are acceptable now. I don't know, guys. Sounds like a family of cheaters, huh? Sounds like a family of cheat maxers. Why are they doing this? Why are they cheating? Why do they feel the need to use performance-enhancing drugs? I will never know. It is delusion maxing, low IQ maxing, to take PEDs. Full stop.
Okay, and she was actually competing and winning trophies and stuff like that?
Well, I'm not sure, about trophies or how well she was doing, but I know it was a part of her life.
Okay, and your dad would lift weights also, but not as seriously as your mom?
Recreational.
Recreational.
Yeah.
Okay, so you grew up in this household where, your physical body, health, and everything was a big deal?
Yeah, it's funny though, because my parents, I never really saw them lift a single weight in my entire life. That was kind of before I was born, so a little before my time. But the influence, yeah, certainly. I mean, just the fact that we had an entire home gym built out, and my parents could show me to a reasonable degree how to properly train. Yeah, that was a big part of it.
Okay, so you're growing up in this family, and right around puberty, you're having a lot of social anxiety?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Explain.
I mean, it wasn't too much about social anxiety. Like I wasn't really just ever a nervous person, you could say. I would say I just didn't really fit in too well. Like I was always pretty low inhibition, especially growing up. So like I wasn't afraid.
So the concept of teenagers feeling out of place in school is pretty common. I mean, I think just about everybody feels like they are out of place somewhat when they are growing up. Partly, I think it's because they're learning their body. They're learning how to be a man or a birdie or a transmaxer, I guess, is what we learned yesterday. Lots of transmaxing kids are cropping up out of the dust. But in all seriousness, I think that everybody kind of feels a level of, you know, what's the word? I guess distance, or say insecurity, or social anxiety, or whatever you want to call it. I think that most kids growing up feel out of place in some way, shape, or form. Even if they are the coolest kid in school, they're still going to be somewhat feeling out of place at certain moments, similar to how I say that I feel lonely at certain moments in time during life. And I think that that's the importance of parent maxing. You must instill in your children a level of self-confidence, which I think starts very young. And I think the people who are more self-confident are able to move their feet forward past the roadblocks of insecurity, social anxiety that I think everyone deals with at some level. Even the ones that are the most outgoing, I think to some degree, have these same types of feelings. So, normal kid growing up, sounds like.
To, do crazy things as a kid. I was just, maybe not someone who had the same hobbies as the rest of teenagers would, like sports and whatever else. So that was kind of the divide.
So as a kid, did you have issues with your looks and so forth, or not really?
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, when I was going through puberty, I would say, my facial features were pretty soft. I had horrible acne. I had a shaved head. So yeah, I would say I was pretty much invisible looks-wise.
Okay, and then 2019 rolls around. You're 14 years old, and the pandemic hits. So now you're at home and not going to school. And is that when you kind of started to get into the whole LooksMaxxing thing that would become LooksMaxxing afterwards?
Yeah, so I would have been 13. That was when I was in 8th grade. And so March of 2020 is when they sent us all home virtually. And that was pretty much, I would say.
Boys, just give me a quick second. I got a text. I'm trying to still figure it out here. Second. Sorry, guys. Hold on one sec. I'm just trying to get this thing set up. Lady friend. God, this is so annoying. Hold on, guys. All right. All right, everybody. All right. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about it. Okay. Let's take a look at this again. Sorry.
And right around puberty, you're having a lot of social anxiety?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Explain.
Not, no, I mean, it wasn't too much about social anxiety. Like I wasn't really just ever a nervous person, you could say. I would say I just didn't really fit in too well. Like I was always pretty low inhibition, especially growing up. So like I wasn't afraid to, do crazy things as a kid. I was just, maybe not someone who had the same hobbies as the rest of teenagers would, like sports and whatever else. So that was kind of the divide.
So as a kid, did you have issues?
Just because you don't have the same interests in sports and other types of things as a kid growing up in school does not mean that you are abnormal. Uh, Everybody's got their things, man. Some people like to play basketball, some people like to play baseball, some people like to game, other people like to LARP. It's like knights and stuff and fight each other with swords and, to each their own. Whatever floats your boat. It's not so much about what your interests are, I think. It's more about, how you carry yourself and how you treat people. I don't know. That's just me. I think that you could be a LARPer, play with, you know, Legos and all different types of shit. And, if you're a good person and you're good, you got good head on your shoulders, I think most people will accept you. That's been my experience.
Issues with your looks and so forth, or not really?
Yeah. I mean, as a kid, when I was going through puberty, I would say, my facial features were pretty soft. I had horrible acne. I had a shaved head. So yeah, I would say I was pretty much invisible looks wise.
Okay, and then 2019 rolls around. You're 14 years old, and the pandemic hits. So now you're at home and not going to school.
Mm-hmm.
And is that when you kind of started to get into the whole ReactionMaxxing thing that would become ReactionMaxxing afterwards?
Yeah, so I would have been 13. That was when I was in 8th grade, and Yeah, so March of 2020 is when they sent us all home virtually. And that was pretty much, I would say, the last time I interacted with people.
Kids who went through school in the pandemic, I do feel some, sympathy for them, because I think I've said this before, I think to Staunch, but I think the one of the biggest benefits to school is the ability for you to interact with other kids your age. I truly do believe that. I truly believe that the biggest benefit to going to public school, or private school with a number of children in the school, is that you have the opportunity to meet new people. You get new perspective on things, um, and you get to see how other people kind of run their life. I think that's very, very enlightening and helpful to kids. And I think that the social aspect of school is the one thing that trains you for real life, to an extent. So it's not real life, going to high school, middle school, whatever, is not going to be the same as getting out into the real world, having to deal with real life things, but it is the first step, I believe. And I think it gives you a taste of the kind of diversity that you could see outside of the school walls in the real world. So I'm getting the picture that this guy here was pretty much a normal kid, feeling insecure, and then gets hit with the pandemic and has to go home, taking away his social connection to a large degree. And I think that sucks. That sucks. That is sucks. That is maxing. Shit maxing. Not his fault. So he gets a pass there for essentially losing a number of years of his potential social development to other children his age.
Normally for another 2 or 3 years, I would say. So yeah, I would just forum culture in general was something that I sort of picked up around that time because I really had nothing else to do. We went up to our house in Cape Cod, away from the urban city, so the interactions were extremely limited.
Okay, so you start researching body enhancements.
When you don't have people around, we don't have base chads like Cy, Murrah, closing. You, especially as a child with endless amounts of time online, scrolling through social media, I think you're bound to pick up some delusional ideas. And unfortunately for kids like him through the pandemic, those delusional ideas never got hit with reality because he's just stuck in his room. So I do have sympathy for him there. But I just heard body improvement drugs or something like this coming up, so we may get fired up here, boys. I got sympathy for the kid growing up in his circumstances, but let's take a listen.
Around this time, and around the age of 14, you take testosterone cypionate?
Testosterone and enthate.
Okay. And that's a steroid?
Yes.
Okay, so why'd you take that at age 14? Because
So at 14, he's injecting TRT. He's an idiot. He is IdiotMaxxing. He is stupid maxing. He is low IQ maxing. This will affect him in his adult years. No question. There's no justification for it, really. I mean, 14-year-old taking TRT, why the hell would you be 14 years old needing to take TRT? That makes zero sense. You're not even close to your genetic or hormonal prime. You are still growing. Your body is still developing. It's turning into a man. You are evolving into a man. You are evolve maxing into a man, and you need to wait and see what your final form looks like before you do anything differently to it. Because if you start adjusting things and injecting drugs and drug maxing before your genetic and hormonal prime, you could be fucking things up in a big way, you dipshit. That is my thought.
At the time, that was illegal, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, testosterone requires a prescription. So yeah, the reason I took testosterone was I just saw these people going to the gym for years and years and really making no progress. And testosterone was something that was discussed on all these forums as, sort of a way to just make gains extremely quickly. And I was like, well, if you have this technology available to you, it just seems almost ridiculous to not utilize it.
What's ridiculous here, sorry guys, I was muted. What's ridiculous here is that you are 14 years old expecting to see big gym gains. That's your first problem. You're not going to see huge gains as a 14-year-old kid. You're not. You're just not. It's not there. You can't be 14 and look like a man. Sorry. Just like the transmaxing community cannot switch genders and look like that next gender. You cannot transmax, you cannot gender max, you cannot TRT max at 14. It makes zero sense, guys. Seriously, it doesn't make any sense. He is deluded in his thinking. Why would I not use this technology? Let me give you one reason. You will not use the technology because it will shorten your life by decades. Decades and decades and decades. I don't know what else to say. It is what it is. Like, yeah, I mean, seriously. He wants to kill himself. Sorry, that's what it is. He's an idiot.
Well, there are side effects to it, though.
Correct.
Acne is one of them. And there's possible serious cardiovascular situations that could happen. You could have a heart attack on it.
Well, it's a bioidentical hormone, so that's certainly true about steroids in general, but there's a lot of nuance and it's dose dependent, right? So, comparing the stuff that I do, like my 240 milligrams of testosterone, to the stuff that open stage bodybuilders do, if you categorize that the same, then that's just foolish, right?
Okay.
Because they're oftentimes running grams of steroids. And yeah, that's certainly cardiotoxic. That can give you extremely high blood pressure. And
so now he's talking about min-maxing his drugs and trying to justify why what he's doing is safe and why what other people are doing is not safe. Guys, why do we think that a 14-year-old has any type of discernment or analysis ability to decide what is safe, what is not regarding TRT? Is he that smart? Is he that much of a genius that he can beat everybody's analysis and make this safe? Are we tracking with that, fellow base chads? He is delusional, and he is trying to justify his terrible decision. And this is what you see a lot of with delusional people, is they justify their terrible decisions. That they don't have to acknowledge that they're terrible decisions. If he stays on TRT, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he's already destroyed his reproductive system. How would you like to have the ability to never have a kid at age 19? He's an idiot. Sorry, guys. I mean, he just is. Like, he's an idiot. Everything that he's talking about right now can be achieved naturally. He saw people at the gym not getting gains, and so he jumped on TRT because he actually wanted to get gains. No patience, no dedication, no grit, no resilience. He was watching normal gym goers. If he wanted to be an outlier and he wanted to get these gains, why didn't he just prove that he could do that? and eat right and work out 4 to 5 times a week on something that he loved. You see how delusion gets you to stupid decisions like this? Hopefully you do. I do have some sympathy that he was in his room all day, whatever, but where were his parents? Especially knowing that his mom was a bodybuilder, shouldn't she be a little bit more involved, especially if the kid is at home? I don't know. He's 14 taking TRT. I mean, this is ridiculous. This is stupid. Stupid maxing. Low IQ maxing. There is no justification for this. Zero. Zero zip nada. Oh, the technology is there, so I should use it. Oh, okay. Well, nuclear weapons are also available. Should we use those? What other technology is there? We have the technology to transmax our children. Should we use that? Anyone? Anyone want to agree with that statement? That because we have the technology to transmax people, that we should transmax them into octopus men? No. Same thing with this idiot maxer. I mean, that's what he is. He's an idiot. Sorry. He's talking about why it's a good thing that he took TRT. Fucking idiot. Tell him to his face.
And cause these cardiovascular events. And unfortunately, we've seen a lot of guys pass away over the years because of how far they're trying to push it. But that is not the goal, right? My goal is not to be a 280-pound, 7% bodybuilder. Never was. It's really about functionality. You just feel better throughout the day. You sleep better. You sort of feel how a man should. And
really, sleep better, think better, and you feel more like a man. How would he know what a man feels like? Guys, I'm letting you know, you don't get your manhood from taking drugs, guys. I'm telling you. Like you get your manhood from completing skill checks and passing. Manhood is not developed because you have a good-looking body, or because you are 6'5", or because you have gains, or you're shredded. A man is made here in your mind. It's how you carry yourself. And perhaps if it made him feel more confident, I could understand that take. But it certainly is not going to make you feel more like a man. That is a very subjective statement. I think manhood would feel different for every man. I bet me as a man feels different than Sai as a man. And I bet Sai as a man feels different than Murrah as a man. And the same thing with closing. I bet we all feel a tad different subjectively. But we're all men, yeah? We're all base chads, yeah? I would say so. Actually, I know so. And so, does this sound like a man? I mean, to me, this sounds like a kid who jumped on TRT and is now justifying why he did that. I mean, this isn't a good take. This is not thought out. This is not logical. This is not healthy. This is not something that I would ever recommend to any person who is like a young person. And so I feel like the measure of a man is not based on his looks. It's based on his mind. It's based on how well he can handle challenges, how well he can manage his emotions, how well he can stay stoic in times of stress. I measure a man by their situational awareness, their ability to walk away from aggressive encounters. I don't know, guys. That's just me, right? Yeah, I've got muscles. I'm ripped, but that's because that makes me feel more like me. And I did it naturally. I didn't need TRT. or any other PED. But this guy at 14 believes that he needs all the juice to feel like a man at 14. There is just no way that you could ever feel like a man at 14. You're 14. You guys can disagree if you want, but you're going to sound like an idiot. Just like he does. He's an idiot. I mean, he doesn't even. I mean, look at his physique. He doesn't even look like. Why did you take TRT, bro? You could have got that completely naturally. You would have just waited. You might have even been taller. Fucking idiot. You could have had a better buff than just being buff. Imagine had you not taken TRT at 14. Maybe you'd be 6'2" like Psy and not have to worry about all this min-maxing bullshit, gym crap. I mean, I'm dead serious, guys. Like, if you're like 6'2", 6'3", boys, you can get away with not being shredded. You can be 20% body fat. You could be even 25% body fat if you have a nice looking face. I'm dead ass. I'm dead serious. So like people have this thing all fucked up, you know? Like I preach being lean to be healthy. It's proven that the leaner you are, within reason, right? Typically the longer you live. And the leaner you are, typically the more options you have of the opposite sex, or, you know, if you're gay maxing the same sex. So it's not like a requirement to get birds, but I mean, it definitely helps for sure. I agree with that, but like, you don't need drugs to do that. And honestly, doing it the natty way kind of builds you more into a man, in my opinion, because it allows you to complete skill checks over time. You can't fake that. You can't fake dedication. You can't fake patience. And for someone like me who has passed those skill checks, to look at someone like this and see that I have a better physique than this kid, completely natural, and he's juicing. I mean, I kind of have to look at him and say, bro, you're kind of a pussy. Like, how come you couldn't do what I did? Why couldn't you be patient? Why couldn't you be dedicated? And then I look at his parents and say, they're also idiots for allowing him an environment where he could get copious amounts of PEDs. Like, you should not, like, that shouldn't be able to happen. You shouldn't, your kid shouldn't be able to do that, you know? And like, I don't know, like what happened to the days where you were scared of your parents a little bit? You know? I don't know.
Typically how your ancestors would have with, you know, the testosterone levels historically.
Okay, and once you got on testosterone, you were like 14 at the time?
Mm-hmm.
The gains came quickly.
Yeah. So I was taking testosterone. I'd mix in, you know, random orals every once in a while. And I started blowing up quickly because I was in a massive caloric surplus, but the gains weren't necessarily all lean tissue at all. So yeah, I would say to myself, oh yeah, I put on 40, 50 pounds in a year or whatever, but a lot of it was, you know, body fat because I was in sometimes multiple thousand calorie surplus a day, which is just not optimal.
Right.
You know, but I was slowly building up my knowledge and figuring out the way that things worked. So I actually descended my looks quite a bit during this process. I got worse looking.
I hear someone who is very, very, very insecure here. I acknowledge, I mean, he's got it right that if you are in a caloric surplus, you will gain weight and put on body fat. But I mean, it's not abnormal for children to feel insecure in their body. They're still growing, they're still developing. And if you're taking advice from grown men as to what grown men do to get bigger or buffer or shredded or whatever, You have to understand and see reality. You're not a fucking man. You're not a man. You're not an adult. You're not this. You're not. You're not yet. Sorry. 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 You're not this yet. You will be one day if you put your mind to it and you have dedication and patience and resilience and you find a journey. You get a destination and you move your fucking feet forward. That is what I say every fucking day. And PEDs will not get you there faster. In many cases, they won't even get you the results you're looking for. What will get you the results you're looking for? My advice. My advice will get you the results you are looking for, dog. I could probably stop the video right here. This guy's a fucking idiot. He is. If you like this guy, he's a fucking idiot. Sorry. He is. He's promoting drugs. He has it wrong. He's wrong. So far, he's wrong. I will continue the video because I do want to hear him try to justify more so I can make an example of this idiot. But, I mean, it sounds to me like he's, like, cool with this shit. I don't hear him saying that he was dumb for doing it. I hear him saying that he was very smart for doing it. No, you're not smart at all. You are deluded. You may talk well. You may have a nice way of speaking. You may be able to psyop other dumbasses like you into believing that you have a point, but you don't. You have 0 points. You lost all credibility when you said, I take PEDs. And I'm hearing him agree that, like, and say that they're good. So far, that's what I'm taking away from it. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll continue listening. But so far, just about every take that he's had has been fucking stupid. Because he's a kid. Duh. I expect him to have stupid takes. But he seems very obsessed with his image, as if his image is going to get him everything he wants in life. Sure, it'll get you some birds. Yeah, sure. But it's not going to give you happiness. You're not going to be able to keep birds with this type of attitude, with this type of thought about the world where you can just take drugs and fix shit. Oh, I took some drugs. I'm all fixed now. No, you're not, dude. No, you're not. You're still not fixed, but now you're on drugs. And you're not even that shredded, bro. Like, you're not. You're probably like 12%, 15% body fat. I don't know. You don't look shredded. You look lean-ish. But I mean, like, I wouldn't say you're the pinnacle of fitness. I don't know. Why are we listening to this guy? What really does this guy have to offer? I don't know. I'm failing to hear it so far.
So were there side effects from that stage?
Yeah. So right off the bat, when I first started, I had been researching. I had a general understanding of how steroids worked, how different pharmaceuticals interacted inside my body, and the potential side effects that could come. But, I really...
One more aside. He keeps talking about pharmaceuticals as if he knows something about them. I have a very, very close family member to me who is a compounding pharmacist. Went to school for many, many, many years to understand the effects of most drugs. And he actually does hormone replacement therapy, if you could believe it, for women going through menopause. That's a good reason to have hormone replacement therapy. Women going through menopause, there's a biological process that will make your hormones completely out of balance. That would be an acceptable reason to look at hormone replacement therapy for a short amount of time. For women, for birdies. And somehow this 14-year-old, 15, I mean, let's just even say he's 19, whatever. Do we really think that this guy here, with 0 education in pharmaceuticals, has any room to talk about explaining the side effects of pharmaceuticals? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, I talk about the effects of pharmaceuticals from a perspective of like, okay, we have seen this happen over and over again, and the experts say this. I'm just good at reading and retaining information and discerning what's true and what's bullshit. Yeah, apparently this guy could be a pharmacist, huh? You don't even need to go to school or anything, huh? Maybe he should apply at CVS as a CVS pharmacy. Be a pharmacist Max. He doesn't know anything about anything. Sorry guys, he just doesn't. He's not a professional. He doesn't know anything. Here's my guess. He looked this shit up online somewhere and found it on some fucking webpage. $20. I'll bet you. I'll bet you he found his sources online somewhere. He's never had to do any research. He's never had to get actually into those drugs and make them. He's never gotten to see thousands of patients take these drugs and come back week after week or month after month describing their side effects and how they work in practice. This guy is an absolute dipshit. And to me, he sounds completely self-absorbed. Completely. I wonder how long he looks in the mirror every day. That'd be a funny stat.
I didn't know how my body specifically would react, so a lot went wrong at first.
Such as?
Mostly just skin-related issues. Like, what you learn is your hormones fluctuate to a high degree when you're doing like infrequent pins of testosterone. So you kind of figure out eventually, like, hey, if I just keep my hormonal profile super stable with pinning daily.
So he is using himself as a guinea pig. That's cool. Man, I really want to hang out with him. Guys, like, do you really want to hang out with this guy? You want to hang out with him? You want to go chill with Claviculum? Like that sounds like a good time to you. Going over to his place and talking about roids and sticking needles in your ass and injecting yourself with performance enhancing drugs that don't even do shit because you don't have the dedication or patience to even make them work. This guy's a clown. He's a fucking clown. He's an adult now, so I can tell him he's a fucking idiot. You're a fucking idiot, bro. Bro, if you see this, you are an absolute dipshit. Like, and you're not cool. Like, you're not. You're not. I would never hang out with you. I would clown you. If you ever said one word to me about PEDs, I would clown you and flame you. I'm flaming you right now because you're a fucking idiot and you're like advertising this shit almost. Like, you're not advertising it. I understand that, but by you saying that this is a positive thing for you, that all you have to do is just, science max yourself and use yourself as a guinea pig to figure it out. I mean, dude, you're a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. You are going to convince other young men to shorten their lifespans. This is why I get so edgy about this subject. Because you're pushing products on kids and they don't know what the fuck they're doing, dog. They don't realize that everything they're looking for can be done naturally. And instead of you telling them to do it naturally, you're sitting here talking about how at 14, you thought it was a great idea to go get TRT and pump that shit into your body. And how now you're just having to, now you're describing your trials on yourself. I mean, when I was 14, 15, 16, I was hanging out with my boys. I was rolling around, finding birds, socializing. I was playing sports, hanging out with my family. You're over here in your room shooting needles into your ass and pumping drugs into yourself. most likely online all day. Get outside, bro. This is what happens when you get locked up in a room, boys. This is what happens when you get locked up in a room. You just look at your algorithm. You end up like this fucking idiot. Like, I would expect more for someone who's pumping TRT. Just saying. Like, if you're pumping TRT, I would expect more out of you than what I am seeing here. Because you look like a fucking bitch, dude. I'm sorry. You do. And you are. You couldn't keep it P. You couldn't do it naturally. You didn't have the dedication. You didn't have the grit. You didn't have the resilience. You didn't have the mental capacity to understand risk and liability. Guys, there is a concept called risk and liability. And these are things you have to keep into account when you're making choices. Yeah, the benefits might sound great, but what if it goes wrong? What if you're wrong? Do you ever ask yourself that question? What if I'm wrong? And then you need to think through those consequences. This is how I view the world. Yeah, sure, there's a lot of shit that could be great if I tried it. But what if it goes wrong? Not everything is going to go right for you in your life. So you have to be careful about what you choose to do with it, because what if it goes wrong? You have to understand those consequences. And either you understand the consequences and are deluding yourself into thinking that it won't be you, or you're just a fucking dipshit and an immoral person who would be okay with your parents burying you. Maybe you're just a bad person and you just don't give a fuck about your parents. You don't give a fuck about your family. You don't give a fuck about the people around you that care for you past these dumbass steroids. I mean, seriously. Ask yourself that question if you think that this guy's cool. Is that cool? Is he cool for doing that? Is he based?
Then I'm not going to deal with a lot of the same issues in regards to acne and other side effects, because you compare that to women's menstrual cycles, how it's a huge hormonal swing and dip. That's what causes a lot of them to break out, and a lot of the reason women take birth control is to avoid this process.
Right, because steroid rage is a real thing. I remember I had an operation for a deviated septum, and they gave me a steroid, and I remember people did not like me that week. I was definitely easily triggered.
They didn't give you an anabolic steroid. They gave you a topical corticosteroid, probably. It's a completely different thing. So, no, the steroid rage is, that's pretty much a meme, right? So
is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you take testosterone, for the first week or so is when you're going to really peak in terms of your libido. But after that, you return to baseline. You're not going to have roid rage. It's not a thing that really happens outside of extreme high doses.
Boys, do we believe that just the side effects of drugs are made up and only exhibit themselves in bodybuilders that are taking copious amounts of this stuff? Do we believe that? Does that track to you? Do you really think that the only people that are having side effects of steroids are people that are bodybuilders? Again, delusional, low IQ maxing. It's just wrong. This is a false statement. I can prove it. I'm going to Google. How many people, on average, experience side effects on TRT, or anabolic steroids? Almost 100% of recreational anabolic steroid users experience at least one side effect, often dealing with 13 to 15 concurrent symptoms. Boys, I'm going to read that one more time. Almost 100% of recreational anabolic steroid users experience at least one side effect, often dealing with 13 to 15 concurrent symptoms. My fucking God, he is full of shit, you guys. Completely and utterly full of shit. Do I need to rewind? Do I need to rewind so you can hear him say it again? Or did everybody catch it? Y'all caught it? Did y'all catch it? He literally said it doesn't happen very often. Really? Okay. Say I'm half wrong. Say that I am half wrong. 50% of users. Say that I'm half wrong. 25%. Okay, now let's do one more thing to drive my point home. How many people on average are using anabolic steroids? 3 to 4 million Americans, up to 1 million in the UK. Huh? Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. Weird. Okay. So, well, huh? This means that if it's not 5 million people, if I'm half wrong, it's 2.5 million people. If I'm half wrong, it's 1.25 million people, boys. Guess what? Guess what, guys? I'm right. Clavicular is wrong. I'm right. Clavicular is wrong. There's no debating it. Zero debating it. He is wrong. He is lying, or he is deluded, or he is ill-informed, which should put into context the other bullshit that's going to come out of this fucking idiot's mouth. If he's lying about that, what else is he lying about? Huh? This guy is not based already. I'm already saying it. He's not based.
Or I'll add the nuance of trenbolone is one that's even given me some changes to my mental state.
Okay, so you're going through this.
Oh, he's experimented with tren. That's nice. Guys, come on.
But you're actually documenting it on the internet. So was it on YouTube initially?
Yeah, so I mean, I was posting all over the place. I was posting on forums. I would upload videos to YouTube. And I didn't want to be a content creator at all. That was never the intention. I really don't know why I documented everything, but there's a massive archive of everything I've done.
I know why. He wanted attention. And he wanted money. Duh. Y'all need me to say it again. He wanted attention and he wanted money.
Over the years, and me talking about my anecdotes. So that was kind of one of the reasons, I would say, for my success, is just, a lot of those videos, the nostalgia edits and stuff, on the low pixel cameras. It's relatable. People like it, so.
Okay, so as you're going through this in high school, are you dating at all?
No.
At all?
No. During the pandemic era, well, freshman year, I was almost entirely virtual. Sophomore.
Guys, I'm not going to give this interview the benefit of watching the whole thing. I mean, I'm not going to assist this fucking dipshit in his path to shell steroids, whether it be directly or indirectly. I'm going to skip forward in this interview. You guys can watch the full one if you want to, but I'm not going to fucking give these guys any type of anything aside from just pick up a few more pieces of what this guy has to say, and then we're going to get off of this dude for real. I might react to some videos where he's not like being completely interviewed, where I can give some of that credit to you know, the content creators that are speaking on him, perhaps. But I think I've heard enough. This is 8 days old. He just had this interview. These are his real and current thoughts and feelings. I'm gonna go a little further in the video to see if he like takes back any of this shit or if he continues to just double down. There's a small chance that he may say, I'm not doing them. It sounds like he's doing them and liking it.
After you made those comments,
He lean maxed.
which is,
Getting leaner?
oh, so you just lost weight.
Yeah.
Okay. And you call Sydney Sweeney malformed. What does that mean?
I mean, that was just a word I used because her maxilla really doesn't give her face a lot of support. That's why she's got that lower sclera show. So like her eyelids droop down a little bit. She's got those, you know, super big eye area. So that was kind of the reason for that. Well, I mean, I wasn't ever really making money on YouTube, so.
You were talking to this woman, and I don't know what the conversation was about, but she ended up slapping you.
I don't think that's cool at all from the girl. Not at all. She's in the wrong. And honestly, my honest take is that he was actually mature for not doing anything. So I'll give him a brownie point for that. Birds, birds, birds. Base birdies. I know that you would never do this, but if you are a birdie or a base birdie and you hit a man like that, like I said in my other video, you hit me like that, nothing's going to happen. You hit Clavicular like that, nothing's going to happen in terms of you getting punched or hit back. But I can guarantee you that there are men out there that are real, that perhaps I have met, that will not hesitate to knock you out if you were to do that. Be careful with violence, girl and chads. But just because you're a woman or a girl or a pretty anything, if you decide to get violent, you better be ready for those consequences. Not everyone is nice. Not everyone is a pussy in terms of like being able to do something about it. A lot of people are very, very unstable. Girls, do not hit men. Men, do not hit girls. It's not that hard. Don't hit anybody. Ladies, birdies, you cannot fight men. Birdies, if you hit a man and he hits you back, you could be in the hospital and or dead. This is not how you solve things. So, Claviculum, thanks for not hitting her back, but he's saying inflammatory things. It's bound to happen. But it's not his fault. This is her fault. She's in the wrong. She should never have hit him. And so, Birdie, you're lucky he didn't hit you back.
Hey, hold your ear, call the police. Hold your ear, call the police. Hold her, get the police.
And then you had security with you, and you said, well, there was a situation where you went at the club and got...
Media, one of the excitatory ones called glutamate, which is largely responsible for your anxiety. So pregabalin can make you lower inhibition, but you know, you eventually can start to get dependency to stimulants and to other pharmaceuticals like that. So I advise against people taking Adderall, even though it's one of the most prescribed drugs. Don't take Adderall, don't take stimulants. I see, people making that assumption all the time that like, oh, you support or you recommend this, that. It's like, no, I never have, and I never will, because I'm someone who understands these things really well. I understand the pharmacology behind it. So it'd be completely ridiculous to suggest that I, in some way, advocate for this.
So are these all?
You're advocating, young man. Let me explain it to you and break it down, because you have a dumb brain. Okay. By you saying that you're taking them and that you attribute your success to them, you are influencing young men like you to do the same shit. What would I look like if I came on here and told everybody that I was on anabolic steroids and taking stimulants? Do you think that there would be some young men that would copy me? Probably. What if I told them that I'm all natural and I'm good without anything? You think that they could aspire to be like that? Probably. You're too stupid to understand that at some point you become an influence, and the things that you say, they affect more than yourself. You dumb child. You are a child, Claviculum. You are not a man yet. You have a lot of learning to do, sir.
Prescribed medications for
Yeah.
your ADHD and so forth, but even with that, you can't get addicted, and there is long.
Claviculum, it would be different if you said that you did them, but you're an idiot. If you admitted to being an idiot, then it would make sense. You understand? If you can admit that you're a fucking dipshit for taking them, then I would have more respect for you. But you're acting as if you're some sort of superhero, some sort of genetic anomaly that can handle these drugs. You just understand it more. You just get it more than pharmacists and doctors and medical professionals with your zero experience with any patients in the real life. You've been reading online too much, son. You're lucky to have this attention, and you should do good with it, as opposed to explaining how amazing this shit is. If I look up and find that you have any affiliate marketing with any of these fucking drugs, I'm going to flame you even harder. I'll look too.
Term problems that people have in terms of that.
Right, because you're kind of just like dysregulating your dopamine system entirely by taking stimulants like that. So it does build somewhat of a dependency,
Right,
where your baseline starts to diminish, and you require these stimulants to have the same energy levels and mental capacity as you otherwise would.
It's sad to see that his dumbass brain is smart enough to understand that drug maxing is bad for you, but he's delusion maxing so hard that he thinks that he's exempt, or that he can control it, or that he can stand up to it. But in some way, he's special. Bro, you're not a gift from God, bro. You're a human being just like the rest of us. Only you think you're better than everybody else. You do. Otherwise, you would say that you're an idiot. But you're not. You're saying that you understand this shit. I understand it. I understand it, though. No, you don't, dude. No, you do not. You do not understand it. Sorry. You don't. If you understood it, you would look at people who did it and think to yourself, the risk and liability do not outweigh the benefits. Or the benefits do not outweigh the increased likelihood of death. Would you rather be dead with a good-looking corpse at age 25? Or would you rather take your time, do it naturally, and live till the age of 70 or 80 or 90 or 100 if you're lucky. This kid is not living to 100. This kid is not living to 90. He's not living to 80. He's not living to 70. I guarantee you this kid will die before the age of 50. I guarantee it.
Like, are there plans
He started this at 14. He's cooked.
to just quit cold turkey, or are you weaning yourself off of it, or what? Or do you just not care really? And if the doctor prescribes it, don't keep rocking with it.
Well, I mean, I don't take any recreational drugs.
But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the other stuff.
I know. I'm just clarifying.
Yeah.
Or drink alcohol at all. So yeah, I have an extremely low prescription dose of Adderall, and that's just kind of like dependent on what I'm doing, for the day. If I'm doing a lot of work.
Hey boys, since Claviculum is so good at pharmacology, did he explain how methamphetamine and Adderall are the same drug? Did he explain that part? It doesn't matter if it's low dose. What if I told you that he was taking low doses of methamphetamine and smoking meth at a low dose? Would you say that that's healthy? Would you say that that is smart? Would you say that, oh, well, Claviculum has a low dose of methamphetamine in his meth pipe? You would look at me like I was an idiot, which is exactly how I'm looking at him, saying, I have a low dose to Adderall. Y'all know that I could get Adderall today. Did y'all know that I have had ADHD since I was a kid? I have never had Adderall. I'm fine. Try it natural. Try it natural before you fucking change your entire makeup, you dipshit. God fucking damn it. This guy's such a fucking idiot.
Work, like, scripting out different content segments, or, just planning out a lot of interest, because it's last name, really. Tom Brady's ex-wife was one that scored highly. So, yeah, that's a good example.
Now
Naomi Campbell.
apparently he's talking about the attractiveness of women and breaking down their faces and all the rest of this shit. I mean, come on, guys. Like, seriously? Talking about Tom Brady's wife not being hot or something? I don't know, dude. This is fucking stupid. This is dumb. Why do people like this? Y'all like this? Y'all like what he's saying? Really? I can't even listen to this. This is like white noise. I'm dead ass. Like, this is like white noise. This guy is a fucking dipshit. I don't know what else to say. Like, he's not based. I don't know. He's into PEDs. He's into PEDs. And he looks terrible for having used PEDs. He should look better, and he doesn't, which means he doesn't even know how to fucking work out or move his body or hypertrophy his muscles. It seems to me all of his shit is from those drugs. I mean, guys, I don't know what to say. I mean, do we even need to watch the rest of this? I mean, he is so fucking stupid. Nothing he says is correct. I haven't heard one good take. The only good take I've heard is that if you eat in a calorie surplus, you'll gain fat. And the fact that he did not hit that woman back when she slapped him in the face and then had the police called. That's like, those are the only two takes out of this entire thing that I've heard that were either accurate or acceptable. And he doesn't even get a pass when he says, I don't want people to take stimulants, and I would never recommend it, because he is. Implicitly, he is. Inadvertently, he is. And he's too stupid to understand that. He's too young and too deluded to understand that. He is too self-absorbed to picture himself as another regular human being. And so he justifies being able to take whatever drug he wants because he's smarter than it. He's smarter than the drug, smarter than the side effects, smarter than the doctors, he's smarter than the pharmacists. He's smarter than everybody about everything. Not only is he smarter about pharmacology, but he's also smarter about who is attractive. Really? 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 He knows attractiveness better than anybody. That's who we're going to decide who's attractive? Guys, this guy is a fucking idiot. Who watches this? Who watches him? Who gives him attention? It must be young men. I shake my head at this man. I am disappointed in this kid. I am disappointed in this kid. This kid is a fucking idiot, and he's money hungry, obviously. Obviously. Why else would he be doing this? Why else would he be doing it? To make money, to get attention, to sell products, or to have advertisers sponsor his shit. Am I wrong? Someone tell me I'm wrong. Someone challenge me. Please. I'd like to be enlightened. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I will take back what I said, but I am just going off of what this man said. That's it. I'm just going off of what the man said. And I disagree with him 100%. To the point where he's droning in my ears. If I was by myself, I would click off this video. Deadass. And I'm about to. So we're going to listen to just a little bit more. I want to see if there's anything else in here worth talking about, but I think I've made a case on him. He's not based.
I don't believe she's out because they're not mutually exclusive to LooksMaxxing. Looks are the most important thing, but once again, you got to.
Okay, I mean, I think we can be done. Looks are the most important thing, guys. Really? 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 We really believe that, guys. Seriously? Looks are the most important thing. It's obvious this is a child. It's obvious he has zero life experience. Looks are the most important thing. Interesting. So what about Stephen Hawking? He was in a wheelchair and couldn't move. He had like 5 birds. Dead ass. He had like 5 different wives. So what about, is Stephen Hawking a 10 in the looks category? Guys, I mean, I'm kind of shocked at how stupid this guy is. Like, I honestly, like, I'm actually kind of, I thought he would be smarter than this. I thought that he would be more thoughtful than this. I did. I had an open mind going into it. But, yeah, man, I mean, this guy's a fucking dipshit. Looks are the most important thing, and Stephen Hawking somehow got 5 birds. Really?
Yeah.
When it comes to women, from your point of view, what's more important, looks or money?
Well, I would say that I probably wouldn't have the career, the status, and the money that I do if it weren't for a certain physical.
I think we're going to end it there, guys. I wouldn't have the career I have without being attractive. Do you guys need me to give you examples? Do you guys, I mean, can you guys just think of like 4 businessmen off the top of your head and ask yourself if you think that they're attractive and that their attractiveness got them to where they are? Here, you guys want some evidence here? What do we think? What do you think, guys? Did his looks get him to be a billionaire? Here, let's do another one. Oh, yeah, looks totally got him to where he was. Yep, that makes total sense. Uh-huh. Yep, totally get it. Oh, wait, here. Why don't we do another one, huh? Here, you want me to keep going? Do you need me to keep going? I can, if you want. Oh, yeah, total Chad. Totally, total model right here. He's a normal fucking guy. His normal looks. I can just keep it coming. I can just keep it coming. Clavicular is not based, boys. And I'm going to stop his video because he is an idiot and I don't like him. I think that he is deluded. I think that he is narcissistic because he is so self-absorbed that he doesn't realize that it's affecting other people. Or he's just immoral, which very well could be the case as well. Yeah, dude, this guy's a fucking dipshit. That's it. I mean, seriously, that's the take. There's no other take. There's no other argument. If you think he's cool, you're an idiot. Sorry. It is what it is. If you liked this shit before, or you liked his clips or whatever, you need to watch this for real. Because if you think that this guy is cool, you are also saying you think it's cool that he's influencing young men to take steroids and to take any other copious drug that he's talking about here. It would be so different if he said that I am an idiot for doing this, but I'm doing it because I'm okay with the consequences of my mother bearing me when I'm basically a child. Man, tell you what, boys, this shit's crazy. This guy's fucking stupid. Straight up. No cap. Okay, my birdie is supposed to be here in about 15 minutes. So, give me like, I don't know, 10 minutes or so. I'll come back and do something more fun. I thought this would be fun. I thought that we would learn something, but all that we learned is that this guy's a fucking dipshit. So, he is dipshit maxing. He is low IQ maxing. He is delusion maxing. He is what, boys? He's not based. And with that, let's take a break.